Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to create an iOS plugin to display a camera in Godot game engine. We will be using EV Foundation, like capture a photo from that camera and display it inside texture rect. So yeah, let's get started. Unfortunately I want to make one thing very clear, like we will be using Swift Godot, but one thing which I want to make clear is we will be displaying camera inside a new screen. It's very difficult to show it in an existing Godot screen, so yeah, be mindful of that. But yeah, anyways, let's get started. So as usual, I have just this cheat sheet created for myself because I don't remember all the steps. So first we have to go to this particular URL, and for creating an iOS plugin you would require macOS as well as Xcode installed. I already have both of those, so I've installed Xcode from Apple App Store. It is free. And also here I have created an empty folder named Godot. You can name it whatever you feel like. You don't even have to create this folder. It's just that at the end of this tutorial there will be 3 different projects. So just for make sense out of all the projects, I have created one parent folder. So once you have opened Xcode, you just have to click on File, New, and here you will have to select Package. Select multi-platform, select library, click next, and here I will just go to the Godot folder and I'll name it my library as just my library. You can name it whatever you feel like, but it's important, if you're doing this for the very first time, better follow what I'm doing, because this name will be used in a lot other places as well. So I'll just click on create for now. So same thing has been specified in this documentation as well, which we have already done. Then we have to copy these dependencies which have been specified in the documentation, and after products array we have to add this inside package.swift. So I'll just paste it over here. Make sure you do command S, so it will automatically download the dependencies for us using Swift package manager. So here you can see it is downloading it for us. The next thing which has been specified, we have to add this type dynamic as well as platform, but in our case it will not be macOS, it will be iOS. So again I have a cheat sheet for that, so I'll just copy this. Okay, after name we have to add it. So after name I will just add it over here. I'll remove this unnecessary spaces, and then we have to add this type dynamic as well. So let's see where we have to add it. After library name, so after library name I'll just add it over here. Okay, then we have to add this dependencies as well. So I'll just again copy it. I'll scroll down, and here you can see inside target name we have to add these dependencies. So after target name I'll just add one comma and I'll paste it over here. I'll just improve the indentation a little bit using Control I. So yeah, you don't have to do this, but yeah, this is what it is. Now at the time of me recording this video, Swift Godot does not support Swift version 6, but you can check the Swift Godot GitHub repo just to check whether it supports Swift version 6 and above. If yes, then you can continue using it. If not, then for me at least I'll have to change this from 6.0 to 5.10, because Swift 6 introduces a lot of concurrency things which Swift Godot unfortunately doesn't support yet. And honestly, we don't require all those concurrency things. Our app is pretty simple. Now we have to go to my library.swift. Now I will cheat a little bit. I already have code for this. So okay, I'll just go to my library. I have written code for it like before recording this video, so that's what I will be copying it. Just open it inside of VS Code. First I'll just copy over everything from this. Oh sorry, this is not the one. Okay, so I'll just copy everything. I'll paste it over here, then I'll explain it to you. So first we are importing Swift UI kit, then we are importing Swift Godot as well. We don't require core data, that was a mistake. And then we have to write this boilerplate code which is in the Swift Godot documentation, but this should be your own library name, so be careful with this. Then here we are annotating with main actor, that is run on the main thread, and we are also annotating with @Godot because we need to create a reference for this class, and it extends from ref counted so that it uses memory management. Then here I have created this signal. So what will happen is that uh, I'll explain you how we are using this signal. So once the photo is captured from the camera, the image is stored inside the apps directory. It is not stored to the photos app. If you want me to show you how to save it to the photos app, do let me know in the comments. But currently I'm just showing it inside a temporary directory, inside the app directory I mean. And here I have created a method called open, and I have annotated with @callable so that it can be called from our GD script code. Okay, you can name this method whatever you feel like. Here we are getting hold of our root view controller. Then here we are creating another view controller called camera view controller. For this we will have to create a Swift file. So this will actually have all the necessary code for camera using AV Foundation. And here we have model presentation style is full screen, and once the camera is dismissed we get a callback over here, and the result will be the actual path where the video or where the image is stored, and we are sending that path with the help of this particular signal back to Godot side over here. And here we are just presenting our root view controller, not presenting like we are presenting the camera view controller with the help of root view controller. Okay, so here I'll just copy this. I'll create a Swift file, right click on this, uh, right click new empty file, name it as camera view controller. Okay, now I'll just again copy some code and then I'll explain it to you. I'll paste it over here. So here you can see I'm importing UI kit, AV Foundation as well as photos. Then here is our camera view controller. I don't think we require photos. I think so we can remove this. Yeah, here I'm just extending AV capture photo capture delegate as well as AV capture photo video data output sample buffer delegate. Here we create a preview view as well as one button to capture the photo. Here I have also created one thumbnail image just to display the image what has been captured, but this, like, we are immediately dismissing after our image is captured, so I don't think this would be much helpful to you, but I'm just showing it to you in case if you're interested. Then I have created this box view. Now many of these things even I don't understand, like this AV capture video data output. This dispatch queue I think is for main thread or a background thread, something like that. And here is AV capture video preview layer, capture device, capture photo output, and then a capture session. So this is basically boilerplate code whenever you are trying to work with AV Foundation camera in native iOS. Now there is one more thing. I know there is some camera node available in Godot as well, but that is not as powerful as the AV Foundation, which is from native iOS itself. That's why I'm not using that one. Then here is the dismiss callback, which gets called once photo has been captured. Inside view did load, here we just initialize our preview view. Here I have set the content mode, and here we add the preview view to our parent view. Here we create our box view as well, add it to our parent view. Then here is our capture button, so setting background color, corner radius, then setting some NS layout constraint for this. And here is once on press listener for our button and adding it to our parent view. Similarly for thumbnail image view as well, some background color, corner radius, clip to bounce true, and then translate auto resizing is false for NS layout constraints. Then here we just add it to our parent view. Then here we do NS layout constraints dot activate like NS layout for our capture button, and this is for our thumbnail image view. Then we just do setup AV capture. This is called once our button is clicked, so we just do AV capture photo settings and capture the photo. And once the photo is captured, the callback comes over here. We just get the photo, convert it to image data, then we convert it to a UI image, display it inside our image view, and also pass this image data to our dismiss method. So basically here we are storing that image in form of JPEG with the help inside our documents directory, and we get the file URL, right? So once we get the file URL, we just write that data to our image data to our file URL and pass the file URL back to the main my library, which will send it back to Godot side and dismiss our camera view controller as well. So this is for setting up AV capture. Again, this is boilerplate code, I'm not going into this. This is for beginning the session. So again, this is like again boilerplate code. Simply scroll through this, feel free to pause the video and just copy this code. Okay, and this is for stopping the camera if you want to. So I think, yeah, that's it. Now what I'll do is I'll just close my cheat sheet and I'll open the Godot folder which I had created inside VS Code, because I need to create a build.sh file, and I have just pasted my cheat sheet again. Okay, so inside this we need to create a build.sh file. You can use like you can do this via Xcode as well. It's just that I'm not comfortable doing it via Xcode. That's why I'm using VS Code, but make sure you use any IDE. One more thing is, you might see a lot of errors in this file, like no such module, like there could be a lot of errors. Like that is fine, like Xcode does not play nicely with Swift Godot, that's why we get all these issues. But yeah, you can ignore all these issues, like no big deal. So like I said, I'll just create one file called build.sh. Then you can just go to this particular URL over here and just paste it. Then I'll just copy this code and I'll just paste it over here inside build.sh as well. You just need to change one thing. Just scroll up, and instead of this iOS plugins package, you have to write your own library name. In my case, it is just my library. Okay, so I'll just paste this, and you also need to add this dash skip macro validations backward slash. So add this over here. Make sure there are no extra spaces. Okay, once this is done, you can just close this. Make sure you save it if you are using VS Code like me. Otherwise, it might give you error later on. Then you can just go to your terminal and cd to the my library package which we have created. Inside that, we can just copy this particular command and paste it over here, and then I'll copy this command. So I'm not planning to deploy this app to Apple App Store, so I can just generate the debug mode or debug framework. But if you're planning it to deploy, you will have to replace the debug word with release. That's the only change you will have to do. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Now this will take little bit of time, so let it do its thing. In the meantime, I can just open Godot game engine. I'm using Godot 4.3.0 at the time of recording this, but yeah, you can use any future version of Godot. I don't think there will be any breaking changes as such. Then click on create, click on browse, go to downloads, go to my camp, go to Godot, select the current folder, and here I'll just name it as my Godot project. Okay, and I'll just click on create and edit. Then I will just click on project, export, add, iOS, click on fix import. Here you will have to enter your App Store team ID. I don't want to get into that. Like you have to enter it, but you can just go to this particular URL over here and it will tell you how to get your App Store team ID. I'll enter mine later on, but make sure you enter it now only. And here you also have to enter your bundle identifier. So I can just add com dot nobody dot my game. Typically it is com dot your company name dot your app name, but yeah, for now this is fine. I'll click close, click on 2D scene, save it, command s, click save. Then I'll just run this, like click on this run button, click select current, and this is done only so that our root scene is selected. Otherwise, if we directly export to iOS, then again your app will fail to run. Then here just click on this plus, add one button just to click call that open method. You can call that open method inside on ready as well of GD script, ready method I mean. But yeah, I think it's fine. If I create one button, I'll just save it. Okay, then I'll attach one script to this as well. Then I'll go back to the button, I'll go to node, I'll add the press signal. Okay, then again I'll just cheat a little bit. I'll just go back to my code and I'll copy some code from it. So I'll just create this variable called my library, just paste it over here. Okay, and here I'll just paste this particular part as well. So this is just a variable which we have created, and now we need to initialize it. So here you can see that we are just initial. So this is my library name as well as this one. You will have to change it if you have named it differently. And this is our signal. So once a signal is called, this particular method will get called automatically. And here I will just add this particular bit of code as well. Now one thing which I forgot is we need to add a texture rect to display the image as well, right? So once we get the signal, we will have the data, we create an image, then we load the path, we create an image texture, and then we load that image texture on our texture rect. Okay, so I'll just go back to our scene 2D. Okay, I'll just like make this button a little bit smaller. Okay, and here I will just add one texture rect as well, and I will just expand this. I'll move it down. Command S to save. Okay, I'll just go to script, and here I'll just drag and drop this so that our texture rect variable is also created. And on a button press, we just have to add this particular bit of code, like my library.open, if my library is properly initialized. So that's what we are doing over here. Okay, so I think that should be it. Okay, there is one more thing. Again, I'll do this via VS Code. So here you can see my Godot project is also open. Inside our Godot project, I'll just create one bin folder. I'll just close this. Okay, and I'll have to create one file. Again, it should be your library name .gd extension. So it is, in my case, it will be my library.gd extension. Now I'm not able to open this file, at least in Godot 4.3.0. That's why I'm using VS Code. Now inside this we have to write some code. So again, I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. So again, if you are using release, you will have to replace this debug with release as well. Okay, then if you open your terminal, here you can see this also succeeded. So what we can do is we can go to our Godot folder, go to library, go to bin, go to iOS, and copy these two things, and go to your Godot project, go to bin, and paste it over here. Now we need to export our project from iOS project from Godot game engine, but before that I'll create one more folder. You can name it whatever you feel like. I'll just name it as iOS because there will be lot of files that will be created after exporting. That's why I'm creating a separate folder for this. Just go to your Godot game engine. Okay, so here again, coming back to our Godot game engine, we just have to go to project, export, click export project, and here I will just navigate to the iOS folder and I'll click on save. Now the export will take a little bit of time, so be patient. Once the export is done, I'll just come back and show you guys the output. Okay, so my export was successful. Next, you just need to go to the iOS folder and double click on this .xcode proj file. It will automatically open it in Xcode for you, and you will have to run this output on a real device. It will not work on a simulator because of some graphics thing, and also camera is not available on simulator. So now we just have to wait. Hopefully it works for me. So I have my device connected. Now this will again take some time. So yeah, let's just wait. Also one more thing which I want to, given that it is building, if you go to the open this supporting files, go to this my Godot project -info.plist file. Here you can see, at least for Godot 4.3.0, the camera usage description permission is already present. This might change in the future. If this is not already present for you, you will have to add this particular permission, and you also need to specify why your app requires this permission. So maybe you can say my app requires this to capture photos or something like this. This can be anything, but be careful with this. You can't write anything over here. It has to be privacy dash camera usage description, or better way would be right click, open as source code, and here I'll just show you how it should be. So something like this, key should be this, exactly like this. String can be anything, it's up to you what you feel like. Okay, so I think I have my app running. Let's just wait. Okay, so I will just click on open. It is asking me for camera permission. I'll click on allow, and here I have just this white wall in front of me, so I'll just capture that. And here you can see the white wall has been captured. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully you got the point. That's Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comments. Bye.